Yeah, I can, loud and
Oh,
clear.
great.
We've had a
Great,
few.
great. Yeah, well, listen, that music was great. I was listening to the first song and thinking, oh my gosh, I can see myself already watching Home Alone, the fire on the Christmas
Yeah,
tree, and then Krista Berg. It's, yeah,
yeah.
it is amazing, isn't it?
Well,
That music immediately brings us back to a memory. It evokes an emotion. And that's, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what Christmas ads do when they pick a specific piece of music. That's what they're hoping they're going to do. And there's going to be then that association with the music and the brand and the whole ad. But I think it's interesting when, as an advertising agency, like in Connolly Partners, we'd always say there should be four parts that would make a great Christmas ad. And again, I always add a fifth one, but the four ones really would be the storytelling that should evoke some type of emotion in you.
yes.
There has to be a relevance to the ad, a very strong insight, and then an investment. And that could be in that high production values. It could be the producer, it could be down to the music, it could be the talent. And I'd often add that you should really ask, does this ad stand the test of time? Like, will this be something that could be a real memorable and intrinsically linked to the brand down the line? So
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting place to jump off when we're discussing Christmas ads.
And funny you should say that. Will they stand the test of time? The really good ones do because they're showing year after. I'm thinking about like the Coca-Cola ad and the Guinness ad. They're showing year after year and don't change.
Exactly. So I would have, and I bet if you did a list and your listeners did a list of their probably top three, I'm thinking kind of global brands, where it's not any kind of product introduced, just really it's a beautiful storytelling. You're absolutely right. The Coca-Cola ad, and that ad it's really interesting. There's only been three versions of that made over the last kind of 2.5 decades. It's since
Wow.
1995 actually it first went on, and they took that off air in 2001, and they lasted 5 years, and then people were going crazy every Christmas going, where is the Coca-Cola? Because it was kind of like the start of Christmas ads. You heard that on the radio and it was like, or heard it on TV and you go, oh, we're back to Christmas. And I would think one of the other ads is the cornflakes ad. So it's the Kellogg cornflakes. It's that really cute ad, with the little kids coming down to try and see if they can see Santa Claus, and the little girl does, and she shares the cornflakes with them. It's a really cute ad. Do you remember that one?
I do, and I also remember there's the Duns ad, which I really like, the one where the children are all trying to help Santa to deliver his presents.
Because of the bad weather.
Yes,
Yeah,
the snow.
I love that too. And actually, when I often start off talking about Christmas ads, I start kind of with the global ones, the big ones we all know.
Yeah,
Then I do think moving on to the Irish ones, is an ad for me that sits right with both categories, and that would be the Guinness ad. And
yeah,
it is well, I just love it because it's the home of Christmas. It's about the beautiful white Christmas, and it has the lovely imagery of the gates
yeah.
in St. James's Gate, and it has the lovely claddagh, it has the snow. It's a beautiful ad. Do you know that ad?
It's like a live Christmas postcard.
Isn't it?
Yeah, or Christmas card. Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's live, and it's moving there in front of you, and every time you're going, oh wow, that's Christmas.
And that ad, has been on air since 2014. And what I love about that one, that Dream of a White one, is because I think it's really important that Irish agencies, creative agencies, are given the kudos. This is that ad, the strategy and the creative was devised in Ireland. And I wouldn't even start to mention people because I'm bound to leave somebody out. There's so many people involved in it. But that was an Irish crew and an Irish, I know production probably went wider afield, but that was devised in Ireland by some great creatives still working in the Irish industry, which is brilliant for us, because I think that's where you see over the last number of years, there has been some really great advertising put out by Irish agencies. And like you've mentioned, the Duns ad, I love that one. I love the Super Value one from 2 years ago. Do you remember
Yes.
the one? And the little boy's all excited, and you think all the way along he's speaking about Santa, and then his granddad comes in.
Absolutely. Brings tears
That's a
to your eyes
stunning
every
ad.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like that, they got everything right in that because it's building a lovely story. It's lovely to have a little bit of a twist at the end. It was so relevant because it was at that time where, we were during COVID and you didn't know whether somebody was coming or not. And you know what? Even if it weren't COVID, that is still, it's not a given that every year grandparents would be able to come and travel to see their grandkids. I think that was beautiful. I think Woody's did a lovely ad. You remember the Squeaky Gate ad? And
Oh,
there's
with
that
the woman, the old woman who everybody in the street knew, and
yes.
she struggled closing, opening and closing the gate,
Yes,
and then she came
exactly.
back.
I
Yeah,
think that's a beautiful one because again, it was all around that time when everybody was looking after their community and everybody was looking after neighbors during COVID, which is a lovely thought that might have lasted in our communities, that sense of kind of people are at the heart of community and we look out for each other.
yeah.
I suppose it was really amplified during COVID. So this ad, I think, will last the test of time because it still is relevant. But it's a beautiful ad, and it's not corny. It's just really nice. I think it's a lovely Christmas ad.
It is, and so often, I mean, the concepts can be great, but unless they're well made, unless they're well directed and well made, and then
Absolutely.
things like music and stuff play a big part, but they have to be well made.
You're absolutely right. That's the production values at the end, and that's where you're right. I think that there's some ads that have been done that maybe haven't looked the part or fitted the brand. And the thing is, this is all about for a lot of the brands, it's setting them up at the start of the year, but it's brand salience throughout the year that people are remembering that brand. So it mightn't be selling anything. There mightn't necessarily be a product shown or an offer or a call to action on the ad, but that is setting it up in people's minds that throughout the year, the next time they see something that's more specific, it's tactical advertising with money off, they will remember this Christmas ad. But I
Association.
think that yeah, I think that there's been some great ones over the last while. I think you're right. The production values are really high.
Yeah.
I think interesting for that on that point, and I'm sure your listeners will know a lot of these ads. John Lewis in the UK,
Yes.
and they every year do these amazing ads, and they would have been known for their production, very high values, and really putting a lot of money into them. And they have done amazing ones over the years. Like I loved the little one in 2011. It's a little boy excited for Christmas, and only at the end you realize the excitement is giving his parents a present, not him receiving presents. Then Lily Allen did an animated version of an advert for them with the song Somewhere Only We Know. It was stunning in
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
And then this year they did one where it was called The Beginner. I'm not sure, have you seen it on TV yet?
I,
It's
I
about,
I saw the video. I watched it. Went down and watched it before. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
oh, did you? Okay, had a look. So again, that's a really clever one because like you said about production, normally they would have a lot more in their production. They've kind of pared it back. It's still beautifully shot. There's an attention to detail, but it's not letting us forget the message is it's over 100,000 children in the UK will spend Christmas in care. Now, I know it's a UK ad. I wish we had something similar in Ireland, but again, it's just bringing it back that, the traditional budget for special effects was taken out of it, but it was very much like a heartfelt, it was real.
Yeah, and so much about Christmas is tapping into our memories, and also it's about family. And that reminds me of a Lidl ad from a few years ago, where the extended family
Yes,
came to the old house that was boarded up,
yes.
and they got it all Christmassy. And then the granny and granddad pulled up, and they were all having Christmas together in the old homestead. It was a good ad because it pulled on those heartstrings.
Yeah, but the interesting part you see of just a very good point there is they have to get the balance right because it is about pulling on the heartstrings but not breaking the heartstrings. And there's certain times. So there was an ad that was pulled because like that. If there's a twist at the end that is too sad, people don't like it. So they like to get it's very hard to do. It's getting that balance right without being too sad, and
Yeah.
that is the I suppose the challenge every year. Do you remember actually the Barry's tea ad, the radio advert? It was that long advert, and it was all about a train set that the dad buys for his kids.
It's
Can you remember
still
and
it
describe
was
it?
it was on here a couple of weeks back. They still use it. It's really long, and you're wondering where's this going and what's he doing. And
Yes.
it's very effective still. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. It's interesting because that was first aired in 1994. And again, like a lot of ads can be divisive. I was chatting to somebody about, so my favorite Irish ad is the Guinness ad. I just love it. And somebody said to me, oh, I wish they didn't have that line in it where they say, don't forget to turn the lights out, and it's patronizing and why do they do it? It's amazing, isn't it, how an ad can be for so many people so beautiful, but there's equally people who don't. And that's, I suppose, all down to our personal situations and our what we like and we dislike, and that's what makes Christmas ads so kind of interesting to chat about, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we all have an opinion on them, and because we watch so much TV at Christmas, we're all familiar with them, and it's it's also it's part of Christmas, and I mentioned at the start there about the Coca-Cola ad and even the Guinness ad, and it's all part of Christmas. And when we see them on, and there used to be an ad played here in Highland for the local shopping centre, and it had a Gay Burns voice, and it's just summed. It was just so warm, and he was chatting about that warm and fuzzy feeling, and it kind of spelled Christmas, or it meant that Christmas was coming, and same applies to the well-known TV ads that we know and love.
And that's exactly what they do, because they do trigger an emotion, and that's what they want to do. But then also, Christmas is the most lucrative time of the year for most of these brands. So there is a purpose, behind all of this. There's a purpose to it too. I think what I love about a lot of the ads, so the cleverness is the kind of insight that's there. And I don't know if you have seen, the lottery ad. And there was one over the last number of years, and they're giving each other the gift of a lotto card, the Christmas.
Yes.
And she's giving it, and she's not really giving it, half giving it. And that struggle, you're giving someone a present you want to keep yourself. And they really kind of tapped on that, which I loved. And I love the other one is the Vodafone ad. And the dad he's hopping into the water, and he's got his phone is in that around his neck in a protective case.
I've seen it.
He hops into his Christmas swim, and then his daughter is far, far away. We don't know where. And he just goes to her, "Are you still with me?" And there's a lovely pause, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm still with you." And it's, well, for me anyway, that one every Christmas, I go, oh my God, because it's that bittersweet. Someone's living so far away. You make the Christmas phone call. You can normally hear a lot going on in the background, the real homely sounds of whether it's the radio in the background or family or TV and you're so far away. And it's just really, I think that ad as well, they just really capture it beautifully. It's happy.
I quite like the one for An Post this year, the Tin Man with the heart, and then he gets a message in the post, and the heart warms up, and it makes a difference. That's very
clever. I think that's a really lovely ad. And actually, I was looking back because I love An Post as a brand, and I think their CEO Dave McRedmond has done an amazing job from so many things they've done, and not least their advertising. And if you remember last year. Was it last year or the year before, they had that lovely piece where the girl in Vietnam was sent the box with all her kind of bringing Christmas home to her. And at the time, none of us could travel. So there was so many people, nearly every family in Ireland, I would imagine, had somebody in the immediate or wider family that couldn't make it home. So that ad, again, was really relevant, and it resonated with people because everybody was sending things away. And they also had that ad with the snowman, walking in the air.
Oh yeah, that's going back a few years. Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've had some lovely ones as well on Post. So I think Irish brands have done really nicely. Are there any ads that your viewers have?
Well, I'm going to put that out now, just to listeners and viewers for that matter. Let us know what your favourite ad is, what it means to you, and why you like it. And 086 60 25 000. Listen, Bonnie, thanks a million for sharing your thoughts about Christmas ads. I'm sure we all have our favourites, and and nothing we say is going to change anybody's mind. And as you said earlier, Christmas means different things to different people, maybe. But you have a great Christmas.
I will do, and thank you very much for giving me the time today.
Not at all. Great.
Thank you so much, John. Happy Christmas to you and your listeners.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Check out these special offers at Simpson's Supermarket, Letterkenny. Lions tea bags, 240 pack, €5. Tito crisps, 12 pack, €2.50. Cheerios, 700 gram, €2. Neil's flour, 3 kg, only €3. See the massive range of Christmas decorations in